Hello everyone, I'm Brian. Today I'm reacting to Sannyasa, the Wandering Recluse stage explained by Lakhani. This one's a bit confusing because we had the Brahmacharya phase, we had the family phase. I'm sorry, I remember Brahmacharya because that was said a lot in the earlier videos. But we had essentially the student phase, the family life phase, the retirement phase, and now what is this one? The Wandering Recluse. I have no idea what this could be because these are essentially stages of life. When you're young, when you're considered to be an adult, then when you're older and you're retired, you can't work anymore essentially. So what is this one? Let's go ahead and get started. Sannyasa.
The fourth stage of life is called Sannyas ashram. Sannyas. That means literally renouncing, giving up all attachment to even to your family. Because in the third stage you are still attached to your family, you are advising them, being helpful to them. In the fourth stage they say, withdraw from all attachment from everybody. And sannyas means withdrawing from all attachment. And this is very difficult ashram. Most Hindus cannot even think about it, but in ancient time they used to. This is why it was divided into Hindu life was divided into four stages. The final stage is purely to gain a moksha. No desires, no family attachment. Just thinking about higher things like God and what is my essential nature and making sure that you achieve that. Achieve moksha. And the way you achieve moksha in the sannyasa ashram, in the ancient days, modern times, most Hindus don't follow the sannyasa ashram. The way you do it is, you want to search for God, but do you know how you do it? Through service to human beings, through service to mankind. So the way you search for moksha in the fourth stage is by service to humanity. And this is called the sannyasa ashram, and you can see monks, when you see monks, with orange robes, this is what it stands for. You can enter the sannyasa ashram at any stage of life. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to be, 70-year-old before you become sannyasi. In fact, it will be better if you become a sannyasi at a younger age, when you are fit and well. So you'll find many sannyasis or many monks who begin, who start living for others and in search of God, in search of moksha, but beginning their life at a much earlier stage. So you can have a sannyasi who start at the age of 17. You say, I don't want to go through the grahastha ashram, get married and all that. I'm just going to join the sannyasa ashram at a very young age. So it can begin at any stage of life when there is a strong desire in you to find God or to attain moksha. So the moment you have the strong desire, you can begin the fourth stage of life without going through the other stages of life. So this is the important part of the four stages of life, moksha. As I said, the idea of moksha is end of delusion. And how do you do it? Through service to humanity. By serving mankind, that perhaps is the easiest and the best way of gaining moksha.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, my assumption was correct that there I believe if I said in the last video that or earlier here that there are some people who take this earlier in life. I didn't realize that, and I guess this is not a stage. Interestingly enough, at the end of the third stage, it's actually a stage that applies to essentially all of them, even in the brahmacharya phase. I mean, obviously you're going to be a brahmacharya. I don't know if he said he goes to a school or not. So brahmacharya to me has always been a student of Brahman. Is this person the sannyasa or sannyas? I don't know. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. I pronounce it though. I think I've heard sannyasa initially. That's why I'm pronouncing it like that. And plus, also it's spelled like that. But obviously, pronunciation, spelling error can be different. So, is this is this a stage where to become a student of a philosophy like Advaita Vedanta? Or Buddhism or whatever else philosophy they so happen to choose. Whether you choose laser later on in life or when you're younger. Hmm. But anyways, what he was discussing there at the end, this is where you renounce your family so you can start being contributing to the world. But my thought is, why can't you do both? Why can't you contribute to your family and to the world? By contributing to your family, you're contributing to the world as well. Not the greater world, of course, but at least uh, the world that your family touches. So, for example, your children will be out in the world by teaching them and talking to them, explaining or passing down your wisdom to them. And when they interact with the world, it's part of the world in a sense. Why do you have to renounce your family? That's the kind of the confusing part, and I wonder, is that still being practiced today? If anyone will let me know, curious. That's kind of harsh, I will say. But at the same time, I guess if people accept it, then they understand that this is going to be a part of their life, whether they are the one that's doing it or someone they know is doing it. They're going to realize that, well, it makes it seem like goodbye forever. I don't think that's the case. I think it's just that they they don't perhaps don't talk to their families only, but they're more open to the public and still have access to their family, I'm assuming. Let me know. I am curious about this phase. Because obviously we want to stay with our families, and why would you want to go out into the world? You have no, how do I say, no obligation in a sense. And at the same time, it's not that like you're in a sense excluding yourself. When you go out into the public, you're out in the world, and when you talk to people, you are, generally speaking, when I talk to people, if there's a scenario where I try to pass down my wisdom too, I try to, wisdom in the sense that I make them think, not necessarily give them the answer. That's not wisdom. That's knowledge. Making them think and making them think outside their own box is, I do believe, wisdom a bit. Giving them answers is not wisdom. I don't believe so anyway. There are some cases that it could be, but I think most of the times you direct them in a direction, and hopefully they come out with the same outcome. But that's my definition probably of that. Wisdom might be something else different. So anyways, that's my reaction to the Wandering Recluse Sannyasa. Let me know if that is still being practiced today, and if it really means completely cutting off your family, or does it mean just being more accessible to the world? Because that'd be kind of harsh if you kind of cut off your family. That's, you've grown attached to them, obviously, and in the third stage, you did cut yourself off from the desires, but you're still attached to your family. But this one, you're supposed to be detached. But at the same time, detachment doesn't mean cut off. Just means the same thing as you see desires. Detachment from that, detachment from family. It's not like you hate them or anything. It's just that you're, weird to say, not not in love with them, I guess. Like a family love, of course, I think. Anyways, let me know. So if you like my content, please consider subscribing, thumbs up the sign down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next vid.